saying hello again today on a beautiful, gorgeous February morning, February 22nd, 2011 from Montreal, Quebec.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, and I'm here with Tyler Wood from the Centre d'Histoire de Montréal. Beautiful city-run historic museum right in Old Montreal.
Yeah.
And I just literally stumbled in here about half an hour ago and said, this looks interesting, and you know what, you guys have some fantastic exhibits.
Thank you.
And we're on the third level now.
Third floor, so this is actually would have been sort of almost the attic of the old firehouse.
Let me show the porthole.
Yeah.
Looking out.
The elevator here next to is where the tower to hang the hoses would have been.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And we've turned this into another exhibition space. So this is maybe a more, I don't know, cutting edge exhibit or something. More theoretical, more abstract, bigger in theme. It's called Montreal Moderne. We have a photo contest twice a year where we invite pretty much anyone to submit photographs of Montreal on whatever subject we pick each time. This permutation was on modernist architecture. And we see the three winners here. They all happen to capture Olympic buildings.
Yeah.
The first and third are of the Olympic Stadium, the roof, and I guess the interior structure.
Okay.
And the middle one here is the Athletes Village.
The Athletes Village,
also sometimes known as the Pyramids. And
love the bird in there.
oh, it's
The bird is just the main star. That's great.
So, using this as sort of the starting off point, we explore modernism, the architectural and art movement.
Yes.
Well, we tend to think of it as the 60s and 70s. It started a bit earlier, finished a bit later. But certainly, I mean, there's so much of many cities that is modernist, and we try to explore the good and the bad in the elements. In fact, we can see some of the first attempts here. That's the Tour de la Bourse.
That almost looks like Mies van der Rohe with the black.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not, yeah.
Because we can show you examples of Mies van der Rohe. But yeah, it's certainly along those lines.
And then we've got an Art Deco style 1930s.
Yeah, 1930s. That's I think the Royal Bank Building, one of the first skyscrapers in Montreal. And then technically, modernism would have started about that time. It's hard to define or to include everything in it, because of course there's so many variations.
Exactly.
You see that here. But as we were saying, very back, so throwing out a lot of theory, starting from scratch.
Yes.
Applying sort of a scientific, rational mindset to designing things. So it's very minimalist often.
Yes. Rectilinear.
Rectilinear.
No ornamentation.
No ornamentation. In theory, very rational. Form follows function. That sort of thing.
Absolutely.
And things have changed since then. You know, we call now contemporary architecture is what we would call the things built today. And this is a little quiz to see, well, what are the differences? And I think sometimes you can just go with your gut. You know, certain things are modernist and some are contemporary.
Right.
So what would you say? I don't know. This one here, is this modern or contemporary?
I would say it's contemporary.
Let's see here. Oh, you're right.
Okay.
So it's nice because even if you're not someone who knows a lot about architecture, this is all stuff that we lived through.
But you can see how it's derived from that area.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's a nice way to sort of, if you are trying to figure out what the different styles are, it's a nice way to find things out. And we've got a lot of these pictures from our photo contest that show buildings built in Montreal, especially during the 60s and 70s.
Cheese grater, huh?
Yeah.
Isn't that its nickname? I heard that on my tour on Saturday morning, actually. We took a tour with a gentleman, a local tour guide, and he said one of the nicknames for the Chateau Champlain is the cheese grater, because of the semicircular windows. Yeah. Which
was supposed to actually mimic what's next door, the Windsor Station, which is a nice old historic building.
Exactly.
Not sure if it quite works out.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, it's unique. Some people love it.
For sure, yeah.
And we've got Place des Arts here. Complexe des Jardins. This whole panel in front here. It's all
Okay,
about the
Expo
different
67, yeah.
And talk about modernist architecture, definitely.
Exactly.
The Biosphere now. It used to be the American exhibit at Expo, the pavilion.
And Habitat 67, of course. I've seen that up front, up close just a couple of days ago.
Oh yeah. A lot of people know about Habitat.
Yeah. Place des Nations, where's that one?
That's on the islands.
Oh, is it?
St. Helens, and I think it's on St. Helens Island, and it's not really used anymore.
No?
Oh, there's talk about reusing it.
Okay, and here's the casino right now, right?
Which used to be the French pavilion at Expo. So those are great examples, and Expo is one of these things too that even if you're a critic of modernist architecture, there's something about the spirit.
Yeah.
You can see at least see how people can get worked up and think, we've got all this new technology, these new approaches.
Exactly.
Why not try to tear things down and build new things?
That's right. And here, of course, the Olympic Stadium. Oh, it just changed on me.
Oh, we're
this is a projector. Okay.
More projecting.
Yeah.
Photos, a lot of public art. Watch the wires here.
Okay. Very interesting.
Heard of Monsieur Riopel,
the name rings a bell.
Famous sculptor.
Okay.
Québécois sculptor, He's got pieces nearby.
Okay.
And here we just spotlight a couple of architects. One, this guy here is locally born.
Roger Dastus.
Yeah. And he designed the cheese grater. The one
he did, okay.
Yes,
all right.
Right there.
There we go.
And then you were mentioning Mies van der Rohe, Mies van der Rohe earlier. Well, we've got a couple of his buildings. A few on Nuns Island, and one in Westmount called Westmount Square.
New York, obviously. This is in Barcelona, and this is in Berlin. So Mies van der Rohe was obviously active all over the world.
Oh, he's a big name.
Yeah.
These are the buildings in Montreal.
And when you look at these structures, you would think that's out of the 2000s, not out of the...
Well, you know what?
It's so modern. Like, it's so, we are borrowing a lot from that type of stuff now.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, there's still a lot of architects that get inspired by that for good reason. But we do try to show, like, I'm somewhat critical of modernist architecture. I think sometimes we can learn lessons, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly. 2020.
Ben's Deli was demolished?
It was demolished, yeah.
Really?
This was just a few years ago. I remember going there, and it closed, and then there was talk of just rebuilding something on the site. So,
that was an institution.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this is the thing, something like Ben's Deli is technically modernist. It's streamlined from probably the 40s or 50s. You might not think, especially because so many people have negative reactions to some of these buildings. I think, well, do you really want to protect them? Well, you might want to.
It's starting to get up there, yeah.
You may want to keep them.
It's kind of shocking a little bit to me because I'm also, the 60s and 70s to me are somewhat questionable sometimes in terms of architecture, but now a lot of the stuff is getting historic.
Exactly.
So, what do you do with it?
And I mean, we're maybe in the same position as our ancestors who don't like something, tear it down. And
well, even the Eiffel Tower in 1889, people said, "What kind of crap are you building here?"
Exactly.
And now everybody loves it.
I know the Olympic Stadium. I'll be the first to complain about the cost of it all.
Yeah, but it is unique.
And it's symbolic.
Exactly, and it has a certain aesthetic to it that's not been duplicated by anything else.
That's right.
Yeah.
So this is the sort of thing we get into at the Saint-Paul.
Great exhibitions.
These are actually going to be disappearing in a few months.
Oh yeah?
But, a new temporary exhibit that will be showing up. We'll kind of be talking about what we have here, which is, it's going to be called Quartiers disparus, so neighbourhoods that have disappeared.
Oh yeah.
Because for a lot of these big projects in the 60s, 50s, 60s and 70s, whole neighbourhoods were torn down, people were displaced. What replaced them wasn't always better, and of course people are going to react to that, and there's going to be a counter movement.
Exactly.
And our team has gone in and interviewed people that have memories of living in these neighborhoods, and we're going to try to sort of bring them back here in the museum.
Wow.
And ask everyone to think about, well, should we have done this? Is there another way? Was it for the best?
That's great.
And so we like to ask these questions that are sometimes, you know...
Well, it's great
tough.
when a museum actually challenges your way of thinking.
Yeah.
And even though an individual citizen might not have the power to change anything, but we can certainly judge it in our daily life, in our daily experiences, what kind of quality of life and what living experience comes with the structures around us.
Like I said, when we were downstairs, we have a lot of immigrants, we have a lot of school children, and one of the things we try to do, because we're run by the city, is instill a certain sense of citizenship.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
you can feel, I don't know, maybe empowered is a big word to use, but a sense of, okay, this is my city. Even if you're visiting, you're a Montrealer for a day.
Absolutely,
and you're leaving your mark on the city as much as you're taking from it. So it's a lovely place to work, and I think we do a pretty good job in conveying that message.
No, it's wonderful. Thank you so much for this brief tour.
My pleasure.
I'm looking forward to spending a little bit of time here taking some photos of everything that you do.
Sure.
And maybe coming back and exploring some of the future exhibits that you have.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Tyler.
Thank you.